It's 4:20 in the Rocky Mountains. I'm this old stoner, and I'm ready to have a fart attack. And if you don't know what a fart attack is, that's just me trying to have some fun with art and music live on YouTube. Oh, yeah, yeah. Hope I get some people showing up, but if nobody shows up, that's just fine too, because I do this for myself as much as anyone, for my mental health. Yeah, and today I'm doing something from the list. Try and tell me what to draw. And I actually have an excuse to play my bell today, see if anybody can figure out what this is. It may not be the right notes, it may not be the right key, it may not even be the right tempo, but I had fun giving it a shot. Let's see if you can tell what I'm going to be drawing today. Hey Hadley, can you tell what that's from? Oh, yeah, yeah. So if you hadn't guessed it from that, I am going to be drawing some, hey, Finite World, I'm going to be drawing Michelangelo for Turtle the Fan. He requested that, and he sent me a really nice email where let me know where to send it and gave me like an explanation as to why he wants this one in particular. I thought about doing the whole uh, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I'm just doing Michelangelo because his name's Mike, my name's Mike, and that's kind of his nickname and how he ended up doing his whole channel. Hey, Aaron. Um, and I did a little swatch of those new markers that I got that I showed everybody the other day. And initially, I just wanted to say that I hated them because they feel scratchy is like the best way that I can describe it. But when I got to thinking about it, that's a lot like what regular markers are like. They're kind of once you do the markers that I've been doing, everything like flows really smooth and slick and everything. And I kind of forced myself to use these. Hey, Dodgy, forced myself to use these on it just to show that this particular brand might be a good, if you want to transition from the regular old markers to the alcohol markers, this might be a good way to transition. I'm probably not going to use them much because I've kind of gotten spoiled on the alcohol brush markers. And I really like the Cali art are the ones that, of everything I've tried so far, those I would say are my favorite. Hey, Smoking Joey. Um, and oh, let me start some music. The music that I'm playing today, it's not from a regular playlist. It's just like this folder where I put a whole bunch of videos that I've saved. It's like a mix of me and some stuff that I used on one of my original shows. And took a couple of videos out and threw a couple of more videos in. But it's kind of a way to where I can kind of mix my own stuff in. Let me know if I've got the volumes right. I want it to where you can actually hear the music and hear me talking at the same. I want a nice little mix. And this is typically the loudest of all the stuff in this. So if this is mixed where you can hear me fine, probably the rest of it is. And this is the drawing that I'm doing. And let me pop up the my reference so you can see what I'm using for reference on this. There's my reference. Oh, and I also wanted to, I've been a fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles since before anybody even knew who they were. My mother-in-law bought this for me for Christmas, and this is the first time. Oh yeah, I'm glad you liked that. If you guys missed the last video, the last live stream, you should go check it out. I channeled Cornholio. I did the whole show with my t-shirt pulled up over my head. But the original, I know this particular song is typically louder than everything else in this playlist. The original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were all black and white, and this right here that I have is the first time they were ever presented in color, and it's just a collection of the first 3 issues. And originally, they all just had red mask. They weren't color coded and everything. And I can't remember exactly when. I think Archie Comics did a version of them. And that was the first time that the color ever showed up. Hey, how? And they've been like that way ever since. And even when my son was really small, I even saw him when they went on tour and concert. There was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles concert. I also did some testing with all the little black markers that I've got, trying to decide which ones are the best. So I went through with all of them and tried to let them dry for like 5 or 10 minutes before I actually put color on them. And if I just do one pass over them, they're okay. But over here, this is where I would like actually rub on them. And it turns out to me, it seems like this calligraphy pen, the Tombow WSBH 150, is the one that ended up liking the best. Now granted, the microns are going to be great for if I'm ever doing some basic just pen and ink stuff, because those are like precision markers. So let me just jump on into it. Put on my glasses. Oh, and I talked to Craig today. That was awesome. And I actually wrote another verse to my Wake Me Up When It's Over song. Maybe I'll play it. I haven't really practiced it too much. But after the events of yesterday, had someone in the family die. Did what I needed to do yesterday, and decided that, you just need to move, keep going. Don't let something like that slow you down. You've got to pray for the living. The dead have already found peace. It's the living that you pray for in situations like this. And my brother needs lots of prayer. So anybody that believes in prayer or positive energy, send some prayer and positive energy his way. Because those are the ones that really need it. I hope Turtle shows up. This is for him. Now, I actually drew this 3 times. I've only colored it once. I may end up coloring the other one I did. I wasn't quite happy with my basic drawing for the show, so I decided to draw another one. And I wasn't going to use these markers, but I decided I just need to... I forced myself to use them in the practice drawing. So I decided the best thing to do is just stick with it and use them again here, because they are really cheap markers, believe it or not. 80 colors for, I think it was like $30 total. But they, like I say, they're scratchy. I've gotten spoiled with the ones I've been using, the brush markers. And these aren't brush markers either. So that was another reason I'm not very happy with them. Because the brush markers are just so smooth. Yeah, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have really changed over the years, too. And I don't know if anybody... Hey, Abstract Possibilities, Demonic, welcome to the stream. NH Girl, I hope you got your little package. I know I'd mailed them out. I'll be mailing stuff out again Monday for the people that I'm did this week that gave me a place where I can mail them to. And if you don't want to give out your address, I can send you digital copies, because I scan all this stuff because I like to make them, turn them into like little collector books, I guess you would call them. I thought about printing them, but I just print them on my printer. I print them on two sides, fold them in half, trim the edges of them a little bit. Because that's what I used to do when I was a little kid. I'd get a piece of paper, fold it in half twice, and make myself comic books. Had my own little comic book. What I called mine, BB Comics. I mean, I was always a huge fan of DC Comics, so I kind of copied them. I had a character I called Kid Bolt, which was basically a Kid Flash clone. I had a little comic that I made that I called The Adventure Seekers, which was kind of a Hardy Boys book, but with me and my brother and my cousins as the main characters. It was like kind of a cross between the Hardy Boys and Challengers of the Unknown. I don't know if anybody's familiar with who the Challengers of the Unknown are, but comic book from the 60s. Is that all my drum? Yeah, here we go. So I'm going to use these new markers that I got, and I guess that's the name of them, just super markers, permanent markers. They're alcohol based, but they don't have brushes. And I mean, they actually ended up looking pretty good, but I don't like the way that they feel when I'm using them. They just feel all scratchy. And don't put color down very good either. I mean, it's like they're dry from the get-go, which I don't like. But like I said, if you're just want to transition from regular markers into alcohol markers, these might be the way to go, but I'd still, the Cali Art ones are the ones that I like the best so far. And maybe at some time in the future when I can actually get to a post office, I might mail out some of my art supplies that I'm really not going to be using. Maybe do like a drawing or something. For example, if I decide I don't like these at all, you know, have like a little random drawing. I mean, I'd hope that only people that would actually use them would enter it. Yeah, I do not like these. Let's see if the I really like bright, but I wanted to force myself into using them to see if they are an option, and they are, because my practice one ended up coming out pretty decent. Not as brilliant, not as bright as the colors just aren't anywhere near as bright as the other brands. Oh yeah, I've heard of those. I've been looking for them, but I haven't found them. Who did it? I'm a subscriber to him. Otero Studios did a review of them. He found some like in Walmart. Yeah, these bullet tips just don't work worth a crap. Yeah, I have heard Artisa is a very good brand. Affordable. He got a set of, I don't know how many colors he had in them, but they were at Walmart But I've been looking. I haven't found any alcohol markers that are Walmart at all. So I pretty much just order everything from uh, Amazon. These were I got 80 for $30. I mean, the expensive ones, the quality ones, are like $8 a piece. The I'll show you. This marker right here, this single marker here cost me. I got it in a set of 6, which was $54, and then I had a 40% off coupon. And they're quality. They are like state of the art. They're the high end for illustration and stuff. But these, just when I was making, trying to do my swatching with them, it was just like, oh man, I do not like these. But I'm kind of forcing myself to use them for this drawing. I mean, I was hoping, and I mean, I could probably, warm up to them because that second batch that I got that was more expensive than the first batch, I was like, I don't like these either, but, they're good markers. They're nice and juicy. Got a lot of ink in them. These don't feel like they got much ink. And I gotta scribble them more. I mean, the brush, it's just like a couple of strokes and you got it covered. Whereas this, it's more like coloring with regular markers. Now imagine that they are really good with adult coloring books. These are probably great. And they actually have color names on them. Most of the stuff that I've been using, you just have numbers and no names. So what's the name of this one? This one is Willow Green. But it's just not as rich. I mean, you can still layer them good, which is nice. And that's the whole point of doing alcohol markers, is because you can get all this layering and you can put two colors together and create a third color. Nice shadows. But I prefer the brush markers. I just had to give these a try. Well, it was another one of those deals where I guess you could say shopping is kind of helps calm you down a little bit, maybe. I got my stimulus and I'm addicted to these markers, so I'm always trying new ones. There's another batch that I've been thinking about getting too. Take a lot more effort to do too. I mean, but it's just, this is kind of a demo of, this is kind of my review. This is my reviews that they're adequate, but they're not the best. They're not what I would recommend. And I will probably, like I said earlier, I will probably end up giving these away at some point in the future. But I really don't want to walk into the post office and have to, I mean, if I knew how much postage it was, that's one thing. But all this stuff, you got to weigh it and all that kind of crap. So that's why I'm loving sending off these. I can buy envelopes and stamps through Amazon too, so that's kind of what I've been doing. I don't have to actually go to a store or nothing to do stuff with these. Really? Is that the green I used there? That wasn't the green that I had intended to use on this stuff, but that's okay. There we go. If I learn how to use the chisel tip, the bullet tips I don't like. And when you get the brush ones, you get a brush and a chisel. And my little test showed that I can go, if I just do one pass over these, the black, it doesn't really seem like it pulls the black out. And it's had a little bit of a time to dry. Uh-oh. Kind of messed that up. Well, it'll be fine. Let's see. Do I have another green? Maybe I'll end up just using there we go. I may have to put some just cool gray to get the shadows that I want to work right. There we go. What's that? Oh, cool. Yeah, I have that's what I started with. My daughter gave her boyfriend does a lot of mechanical stuff, but they've kind of moved on to where everything's digital now. And he gave me all of his old Prismacolors, and I fell in love with alcohol markers with the Prismacolors. And his were all bullets and chisels, and they were great. I loved them. And then I decided to buy myself a few, and that was the first batch that I bought were Prismacolors, and those are pricey, just like the Copics, but a little bit less, like $1 less if you're buying them individually. And I bought some of those, but the reason that I love the ones that he gave me. And I guess it's because they're like broken in and I can open them. But the new ones, I have trouble opening them. Getting the lids off and closing the lids. And there was one, and I just bought 4. I bought 4 of them. I don't know how much. And they were like I said, they're like $1 less than the Copics. They're the high end too. I mean, they're like the professional, just like one as good or better than the Copics, depending upon who you are and what you prefer. And I tried those. Yes, I did use the Prismacolors and even bought some, but that's the main reason I don't like. Plus, they're like super expensive. All that stuff is just so expensive that I watch a lot of videos of people that use them a lot, and I've watched a lot of reviews and just saw so many reviews of people comparing the expensive ones to the cheap ones, and that's when I decided to try some cheap ones, and I love them. They're plenty good enough for what I'm doing. I mean, I'm not a professional. I'm just having fun. Trying to have some fun with art. That's what it's all about. And I do notice that these take me a lot longer to get my drawings done, too. Takes more effort, I guess. More effort. I don't know. I've just gotten spoiled to my brush markers. I really love the brush markers. Oh, I missed a little green right there. Um, that was my orange for that. Is this what goes next? Let me see. Probably. Yes. There we go. I mean, these are great, but, well, you kind of get spoiled. And I'm spoiled. And know it. If you're spoiled and you know it, raise your hand. What else did I do? Let me look at my little reference over there. Did I use both of these yet? Okay, that's what these need now. I need a little bit of a shadow, a little bit of an orange shadow to give these a little more character. Okay. Let's see. Do I have an? Oh, and I decided to use some gray on this too. I needed some. Decided to use a little bit of gray on in his mouth, and on these things. Uh-oh, I see a little spot where I need to put some brown right there. And I think I ended up, since the green didn't work right, I'm going to use some of this gray for shadows here too. Okay, what did I say? I needed a little more brown right here. Okay, and now work on my background. Oh, cool. Yes, I will be watching, Mark, if you go on after me, for sure. I've been trying to see if there was anything to watch today, and it's been kind of slow. Been a slow day on the internet. I mean, I am happy that this is like one of my favorite blues, and all my markers with this color blue have been running out of juice. And nothing is actually this light. These markers aren't. There's nothing that's really dark and rich in them, but it still gets the job done. I can still have fun with it for sure.
trying to sing it. As you all know, I'm not the world's greatest guitarist, but a rhythm is a challenge, especially when you sing and you want to give it your all. But hey ho, I put the lyrics here. Let me know what you think, and yeah, let's listen.
I don't know if you can hear them, but to me they even sound scratchy. Not only do they feel scratchy, they sound scratchy. Hey, Sunny girl. Well, I see someone. Oh, there you are. Yeah. Sometimes I get kind of you know involved in what I'm doing here, so it's easy for me to miss people as they come in. I do try and look up often enough to where I can say hi and hey and all that sort of jazz. Um, and then these always. I actually did a different one, but I haven't tried it with this particular. I want it to be a little bit darker. I'm sure I can't decide whether I should make it dark at the bottom or at the top. I think I want to make it dark at the top because that way I can kind of hide where I went over. Yeah, that way I can hide where I went over there. There we go. That did it. I can even get really tricky there. And then when I bring my whites out, if I have to, I can outline it to make it look really cool. Outlines always just make all this stuff pop. It's just amazing how what a little bit of white does to your drawing. And just texture it kind of so that I can gradually fade out into the light at the bottom. Tomorrow I'm gonna do Odie for my sister, the dog from Garfield. She requested him, and she said that she couldn't watch today. I tried to find out what day she could come and watch, and she said tomorrow would be best for her. She's busy today. And I know everybody has lots. Hey, Count Yorgo, welcome to the stream. And like I tell everybody, if there's something you want me to draw, try and put it in the community tab. I mean, you can also email me. I try and go back and look into the chat um, to see what's going on because I'm going to be doing tell me what to draw for a month. For the month of May, it's just going to be all tell me what to draw. And I've got a few. There's a couple of things that I want to do myself that I'm going to slip in there. Next week, I'm going to do this character called Cheech Wizard. And at some point, I don't know if I'm going to actually do it on the live stream, but I want to do myself uh, the poster from Wizards. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that movie. It was done by Ralph Bakshi in the 70s. He did Fritz the Cat, and it kind of went a little bit more than what I was expecting. I kind of took this color a little bit farther than I wanted. So I guess I just need to kind of finish it all the way down. And then fix it up to be kind of cool with the white lines. Let me get my white. Let me get my white out here. I don't need a whole lot of white on this. Just a little bit. Oh, I guess I do. I want to outline it. Let me go ahead and take care of some of this. A few little highlights here and there. And then I'm going to outline them with it, because I think an outline will end up looking really good. Since I got so dark in the background, I'll show you the one that I did already. And I have another one drawn. I'll probably end up coloring it after the stream at some point. Let me just go ahead and outline it all. Really cool what a white outline can end up doing to your drawing. And before I even learned anything about the gel pens, I was doing white with liquid paper, the correcting fluid. There we go. All done. That looks like a good spot to put a... Oh, hard to see that one. There we go. Here was my practice one. Hey, look at there. The Fieldmeister is in the house. I'm not sure which one I like better. That one or this one. They both came out pretty good. And I have another one that I sketched out too. Oh yeah, yeah. Which one do you think is better? This one or this one? Turtle gets them both anyway. Oh, and do I want to... How much time do I have? Oh, I think I'll save my second verse to my new song for tomorrow's show, because I'm pretty sure I'll just whip through Odie really fast. Oh yeah, that was a great show. I had fun. Ooh, I bet that was awesome. What? Oh, yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on these days. It's pretty sad, but well, we gotta hang in there. Hang in there. We'll get through this. We'll get through this. And well, that's it for today's stream. And like I always say, fart jams for life. Fart club forever. Have fun with your art. Oh yeah, yeah. Right on. What do you want me to draw, Count Yorga? Dracula or Vampirella? Leave it in the community tab. I'm hoping that you want me to draw Vampirella. I've been wanting to draw her for a while.